All right, shalom, brothers. Welcome to another show. In this particular show, we're going to be discussing the difference between Adam and Edom. Okay, because as you brothers know, the word Adam comes from the Hebrew word Adama, which means ground, and Edom comes from the Hebrew word Adawam, which means red. Those are two different words. All right, have nothing to do with each other. There's no similarities in it as far as definition is concerned. The only similarities is that they look similar. They kind of spelt a little similar, but they're two totally different words. And in today's lesson, Lord's will, we're going to go into it and give you brothers a better understanding of the word Adam and of the word Edom. All right, and it's going to be a little tedious, so those of you brothers that sincere that want to learn this, then more power to you. I know you brothers are going to get into it, but you got a lot of guys on here on different sites that are just on there just to cause trouble and just looking for entertainment. So stuff like this is going to be like an insect repellent to them, like the truth is an insect repellent to them bugs and insects. All right, so without further ado, we're just going to get started. The first thing I want to go into is whenever you read, I want to deal with this Strong's Concordance first and foremost. Now, when you have the Strong's Concordance, right, the Strong's Concordance we use only as a reference book. We don't take it for face value because they go off on the Strong's Concordance, as well as many other books they go off on. Even the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary that we use, they go off on. But now, when you go into the Strong's Concordance, right, and you look up the word red or Edom or Adam, you'll have a series of numbers. And what they did was the Strong's Concordance, which we're gonna get into. What they did was they took all these different numbers and bunched them together, right, and put these words, Hebrew words and Greek words, in alphabetical order. And basically they push it out to the public, and then when you look at it, you figure, well, that's the way it's got to be. It's got to be this way because that's the way this number is and that number is. This number is following the other number, so they all got to be the same word, right? What the Strong's Concordance is basically is the words that are written in the Bible in the original Hebrew and the Greek. They took numbers, they alphabetized them and took numbers and added the numbers to each letter or to each word. And then they gave their definition of what the words are supposed to be, and in that numbering they went off, on some certain definitions, So matter of fact, I just want to bring this up just so you brothers can see. This is from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, and this is Strong's Concordance. When you look this up, right now, it says here, this is the devil right here. This devil, so-called Jew, looks like. Says Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible, generally known as Strong's Concordance, is a concordance of the King James KJV that was constructed under the direction of Dr. James Strong's from between 1822 and 1894. It says, and first published in 1890, Dr. Strong was professor of exegetical theology at Drew Theological Seminary. At the time, it is an exhaustive cross-reference of every word in the KJV back to the word in the original text. Unlike other biblical reference books, the purpose of Strong's Concordance is not to provide content or commentary about the Bible, but to provide an index to the Bible. This allows the reader to find words where they appear in the Bible. This index allows a student of the Bible to re-find the phrase or passage previously studied, or to compare how the same topic is discussed in different parts of the Bible, right? It says each original language word is given an entry number in the dictionary of those original language words listed in the back of the concordance. These have become known as the Strong's numbers. The main concordance lists each word that appears in the KJV Bible in alphabetical order, with each verse in which it appears listed in order of its appearance in the Bible, with a snippet of surrounding text, including the words in italics, appearing to the right of Scripture's reference is the Strong's number. This allows the user of the concordance to look up the meaning of the original language word in the associated dictionary in the back. thereby showing how the original language word was translated into the English word in the KJV Bible. It says Strong's Concordance is not a translation of the Bible, nor is it intended as a translation tool. The use of Strong's number is not a substitute for professional translation of the Bible from Hebrew and Greek into English by those with formal training in ancient languages and the literature of the cultures in which the Bible was written. So this basically is not a translation. It's not a translation of the Bible. All it is they took those words and they put them in order so you can find the phrases, and then at the end they put what certain words meant, but these guys, they were not experts in the Hebrew or the Greek. All right. So it says, since Strong's Concordance identifies the original words in Hebrew and Greek, strong numbers are sometimes misinterpreted by those without adequate training to change the Bible from its accurate meaning simply by taking the words out of cultural context. And one guy that comes to mind is False Prophet 666 and these other guys that take these books, these Edomite books, for face value. Matter of fact, before we continue on, I want to get a quick scripture here. Matter of fact, let me pull up this thing here in the book of Ecclesiastes. I'll pull up the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 12, I believe it is. This is Solomon speaking to his son. It says, and further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books, there is no end. And much study is a weariness of the flesh. So when you're reading all these different books, they're going to tell, first of all, who's publishing all these different books? The so-called white man, Esau. So they're not going to make it easy for you to find the truth, because their main object and their main goal is to hide the truth, because they're trying to hide who they are. Just like they're trying to hide who our people are, that we're the real Israelites. So it says, and further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books, there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. So you can study all these books out there that they have until you're blue in the face, but it's just gonna some of that stuff is gonna bug you out. So what you do, you stick to the scriptures, to the basics of the scriptures, and then when your foundation is set in the truth, then you're able to venture out and you'll be able to know what's bullshit and what's not. And then even at that, you still don't deal with certain books out there like the Talmud and all that other bullshit. Alright, like certain guys did, and where they at now? They're not around anymore, because they were going to show, they're going to show the men that were teaching it. They're going to show them this is how it's done. The smackdown on hell, and like this guy Abraham Lincoln. It says, and further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books, there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Now I want to get one more scripture before we continue on, and this is the book of Isaiah, the 34th chapter. Alright, and the 16th verse, and it says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. So don't be worrying about those other books. Like we've been telling you, brothers, the only reason why we use the Strong's Concordance or different translations of the Bible, like the NIV or whatever, is just to make a point. We don't get into those. We don't read all those books. We just get certain points out of it. We might look something up as a reference. We might look up a Hebrew word in the concordance as a reference, or a Greek word in the concordance as a reference. And if they're telling the truth, and if it fits with the scriptures, then we use it.